All right, we are still in Unit 2B. We are on Activity 12, and this is all on the different forms of linear functions. So let's start looking at our review. Okay, and if you are looking for reference, or if you were just wondering, like, what on earth, like, what superhero is that? That is Plastic Man. That is a logo for. Just, going to keep you up to date on your comic book characters. Okay, so guided practice number 1. My mom is ordering cookies for my Algebra 1 classes. Sugar cookies cost $6 per dozen, and chocolate chip cookies cost $8 per dozen. She plans to spend a total of $96. So this one, we have a rate for X and a rate for Y. So what we're going to do is we're going to use standard form to write our equation. And standard form looks like this. AX plus BY equals C. So we take our rate times X plus our rate times Y and set it equal to C. So let's do that here. So sugar cookies is X, and it costs $6 per dozen. Oh, okay, and dozens of sugar cookies is X. Okay. So we have 6X plus, let's see, Y is chocolate chip. And chocolate chip is $8. And she's going to spend $96. Okay, so we have 6X plus 8Y equals 96. So we want to graph our function. And so let's see. I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. Let's see. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is on my x-axis, I'm going to go by 6's. So let's see, this is kind of tiny, so let's go every other one. So this would be 6, this would be 12, 18, 24, plus 12 is 36, 48, 60, plus 12 is 72, 84, 96. No, that's not what I want to do. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so I paused and fixed and went ahead and scaled. So I misunderstood the I misunderstood the prompt for some reason and was thinking that this was the cost of the sugar cookies and the cost of the chocolate chip cookies, and it's not. It's the number of dozens of cookies. And so so let's go ahead and I've scaled the equation, or scaled the graph. I scaled each box is just worth 1, so, and then I labeled by 2's. So my x-axis is dozens of sugar cookies, and my y-axis is dozens of chocolate chip cookies. So actually, before I graph this, I want to find the x-intercept and y-intercept. Now remember, your x-intercept is what x equals when y is 0. So let's plug 0 in for y and solve for x. So 6x plus 0 equals 96. We'll divide 96 by 6. And let's think about it this way. You have $96 to spend. If you're not buying any of the $8 chocolate chip cookies, how many of these $6 sugar cookies can you buy? So 96 divided by 6 is, let me double check, 16. So I can buy, so basically if I buy 0 sugar cookies, no, if I buy 0 chocolate chip cookies, then I can buy 16 dozen sugar cookies. Right, so that's my x-intercept. So my x-intercept is 16. If I buy no sugar cookies, I can buy 16, I'm sorry, if I got no chocolate chip cookies, I can buy 16 dozen sugar cookies. I'm going to swap sugar and chocolate chip over and over again, and I'm just going to go ahead and apologize for that in advance. I'm doing the best I can, and I'm just going to trip up over that because I guess I just have chocolate chip, I don't know, or sugar cookies on the, I prefer sugar. And so I keep thinking about sugar cookies. They sound so good right now. Alright, D, what is the y-intercept? So again, we're looking for what does y equal when x is 0. So we'll plug 0 in for x. And what we'll end up having is 8y equals 96. Again, we're going to divide by 8. Basically, I can spend that whole $96 on just chocolate chip cookies instead of sugar cookies. 96 divided by 8 is 12. So if I buy 0 sugar cookies, I can buy 12 dozen chocolate chip cookies. Okay, so we'll put point at 12. Okay, and then from here we would take a straight edge. Some math from my last video. Alright, actually let me do it from here since I'm on this side. And we'll just make a straight edge. From 12 to 16. Okay. So if my mom buys 4 dozen sugar cookies, how many chocolate chip cookies can she buy? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to 4, or go across to 4, and that's going to take me up to 9. So 9 dozen chocolate chip. Okay, now let's double check this with the equation, just because, you know, this might not be the most accurate graph. I think I've got it pretty good, but let's just carefully double check it. So let's see. So we bought 4 dozen sugar cookies, that's x, so that'd be 6 times 4 plus 8 times 9 equals 96. So 6 times 4 is 24. 9 times 8 is 72, and if I add those, I do get 96, so that is correct. So that is, I did well on my graph, is what that tells me. Okay, number 2. I'm trying to scroll, I'm like, I don't know why. I have to actually physically push that up. It's not on the computer. Alright, number 2. Given a line passing through the points 1, 8, and -4, -3, find each of the following. So we're going to find the slope of the line first. So my slope, we're going to do our slope formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to take my y values. So I have -3 and 8. So we'll do -3 minus 8 over -4 minus 1. So we took our 2y values, so we did 2 minus 1 and 2 minus 1. So we made sure that these were from the same coordinate. -4, -3 is our coordinate. And then here we have -1, -8. I'm sorry, just 1, 8. Those minuses are from my formula. So 1, 8 is my other coordinate. So we made sure that vertically they're from the same coordinate. Okay, so then we'll subtract. -3 and -8 is -11. -4, -1 is -5. And the two negatives will cancel, so we have 11/5 is our slope. Okay, we want the point slope form of the line. So point slope, I'm going to come back up here where standard is, and I'm going to write point slope. So point slope is basically you have your slope and a random point. So you're going to take y minus the y coordinate of your point equals your slope times x minus the x coordinate of your point. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And then we also have slope-intercept, which that's coming up next, so I'm going to go ahead and write it. So slope-intercept, everybody knows slope-intercept. Y equals mx plus b, where the m is your slope again, and b is your y-intercept. And that makes this, this makes for easy graphing when you have your slope and y-intercept. Okay, so let's move on. Point slope. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, so we're going to take one of these 2 points. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to take this one because when I subtract negatives, it becomes positives. And that's going to make me happy, so let's do that. So we have y minus the y coordinate is -3. Well, minus -3 is plus 3 equals, okay, I have my m, which is my slope, that's 11/5 times x minus -4. Well, minus negative is positive, so x plus 4. You could write it with the other points. Let's do that, just in case you wanted to do that. So this would be y minus 8 equals 11/5 times x. We're going to take our x coordinate minus 1. These are both in point slope form. So the slope remains the same, but both of these coordinates are on that line, so we're good here. So you use either coordinate. Okay, C, the slope-intercept form of this equation. Oh, no, I take that back. The slope-intercept form of the equation of the line parallel given to the given line and passing through the point 0, -7. So that's interesting. We want not this equation in slope-intercept form. We want it in going through -7. We want a parallel line. Okay, so down here, parallel, and this is the symbol for parallel. Parallel lines have the same slope. Because if you think about it, if they have the same slope, they're not going to run into each other. But if one of them is slightly off, then they're eventually going to intersect. And even if it's like this, where it looks like they're diverging, if you come back, they'll touch. So they have to have the same slope in order for them to not touch. Okay, perpendicular lines, their slope is the opposite reciprocal. See if I can fit this. And we'll get to that over here. Okay, so we want this to be in slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form, if you remember, is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So parallel line has the same slope. So we're going to just take the slope from this line. So we have y equals 11/5 x. And then our y-intercept, remember y-intercept is what y equals when x is 0. Well, in this coordinate, they give us 0 for x. So all we need to do is take the -7 and put it here for our y-intercept. If they had given us another coordinate, what I would have done is either put it in point slope form or plugged in my x and my y and put plus b here and solved for b. Point slope might be easier though, because you're not actually solving, you're just manipulating. Okay, so then D, we want the equation of a line in any form perpendicular to this line and then passing through this point. So perpendicular, our slope is what's important, is opposite reciprocal. So right now our slope is 11/5. If I want the opposite reciprocal, well, reciprocal means we flip the fraction, we do 5/11, and opposite means we change from positive to negative or from negative to positive. So our perpendicular slope is going to be -5/11. So, and then I have a point. Well, I have a slope and I have a point, so let's use point-slope form. So we'll do y minus, my y-coordinate is 1, equals -5/11 times x minus -1. Well, minus negative is positive. So this is a line that is perpendicular to this. And it's in point-slope form, and it goes through the given point. Just for fun, let's put it in slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form has y by itself, and it doesn't have these parentheses. So let's distribute this -5/11 first. Okay. Let's add 1 to each side. And this is y equals -5/11 x minus 5/11. And then instead of +1, let's make this a fraction. This is 1/1. Well, in order to add, they have to have a common denominator. So I need to multiply the top and bottom by 11. So that's 11/11. And 11 minus 5 is 6. So this becomes y equals -5/11 x plus 6/11. So this is point slope. This is slope intercept. If you wanted standard, I would multiply everything by 11, get rid of the fractions, and then add the 5x to the other side, and then you'd have it in standard form. And actually, I can write that to the side real quick. That would look like this. So that's standard form. So there you have it. You have it in all three forms, because I got bored. Another shorter video. I'm not going to say short because I know my kids, they're going to say, Miss Gallen, this was already too long. And then you went and did extra. And yes, I did. But it was for your benefit. Okay. And yeah, second page is independent practice. So good luck with that. I hope you guys are staying safe and staying healthy. And I will talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good evening.